Trash Humpers is Harmony Korine's fourth film, and it's his absolute strangest film so far. I guess if I had to pick a genre, I would call it a horror comedy, but it's unlike any other horror comedy you'll ever see. It's truly unlike any other film ever made. Harmony Korine doesn't even consider this a horror film. He said he wanted to make a great American comedy, which I understand, but there's some violent images that have such a horror atmosphere. I have to call it somewhat of a horror film. I think the scenes that people consider horror are still very comedic to Harmony Korine. His sense of humor is so strange, he just sees his stuff as funny. This is a very funny film to me. I'm not sure if I even consider this a film. It has absolutely no story, so I don't consider this a spoiler video. I think the concept of this film is that it's a found footage film. I've heard Harmony Korine say this would be on a VHS you would find in a plastic bag in the sewer or somewhere like that, but you don't see any of that. It's just a bunch of random scenes of these elder people breaking shit and humping random things. This is the official synopsis of the film that's in the DVD booklet. A film unearthed from the buried landscape of the American nightmare. Trash Humpers follows a small group of elderly peeping toms through the shadows and margins of an unfamiliar world. Crudely documented by the participants themselves, we follow the debased and shocking actions of a group of true sociopaths, the likes of which we have never seen before. Inhabiting a world of broken dreams beyond the limits of morality, they crash against a torn and frayed America. Bordering on an ode to vandalism, it's a new type of horror. Palpable and raw. I feel like this is something that would be playing in a garage where meth heads live. When Harmony was a kid, there was a group of elderly people who would hang around his house. He would look out his window and he would see them get drunk, dance, and humping trash. And they were speaking their own strange, drunken language. That obviously inspired the film. To me, this film is about the beauty of vandalism and destruction. That's something I very much understand. Ever since I was a kid, I loved seeing things get smashed or broken. Seeing glass shatter is one of my favorite things, especially when I was a crazy drug addict. I remember hearing that Harmony Korine was getting sober when he made this film. I remember thinking, this is his first sober film? This is the craziest, most random thing he's ever made. He doesn't need drugs to be insane. He's crazy on his own. I love this guy even more. This film represents to me all the worst, selfish behavior crazy people or drug addicts get immersed in when they just don't give a fuck. Life becomes a long, selfish act of just getting what you want, and these characters just want to hump things and break shit. When Harmony was asked about the violent characters in the film, he said, it's kind of an ode to vandalism. There can be a creative beauty in their mayhem and destruction. You can say these characters are poets or mystics of mayhem and murder, bumbling up to the surface. They do horrible things, but I never view them as sad characters. They're comedic, with a vaudevillian horror element to what they do. They dance as they smash things and set them on fire. They're having a great time. Like I said, this is a very funny film to me. It's incredibly strange, but that's part of the humor. This is Harmony's biggest acting role. He plays Herb. These aren't actual old people, it's just him and his friends in masks. He tends to have people in disturbing masks in a lot of his films. I love hearing Harmony's voice. The shit he comes up with is so strange, and just his voice itself is funny. I remember when this film came out in 2009, I was so pumped because it was the first time Harmony released a film when I was a big fan of his. This was the first time I got to see a new Harmony Korine film, and I liked it. It made me laugh and reminded me a lot of Gummo. This to me is his companion piece to Gummo. I think Gummo is a much better film in pretty much every way, but I'm happy with this film. It gets kind of boring even with a very short 74-minute runtime, but to me this film isn't about entertainment or a story. This is an art piece. Instead of using paint, he uses VHS cameras. The entire film was shot and edited on VHS cameras and players. That's really badass, and I love the way this film looks. VHS was such an important part of my life growing up in the 90s, so almost anything filmed in VHS feels nostalgic. This film creates so many strange images that I genuinely like. Harmony is the definition of an artist. Like it or not, he creates these worlds in his head and puts them on camera. His films are about atmosphere, taking you to these places that no other filmmaker would ever take you. I doubt any other filmmaker would want to take you to these places. I've heard Harmony say he makes movies about things he's never seen before on film. If he had seen them, he wouldn't want to make them. I don't watch this film often. I think this is the third time I've watched it. I wouldn't recommend this film to a lot of people. Even my friends who love Gummo and Spring Breakers don't like this film, and I get it. I think I respect this film more than I enjoy it. Like I said, it does get kind of boring, but I still like it. I'm very glad I bought the DVD, which comes with a great booklet and some short films he made about the same characters. If you like this film, I recommend buying it. So that's my review on Trash Humpers. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, and follow me on Instagram, CinemaJunkies_. Don't forget the underscore.